Now, I would really love to sort of discuss your study that you've currently got going on. Could you sort of describe to everybody the current study that you're recruiting for?
Sure. So we have a study that's funded by the National Institutes of Health. We are looking at the effects of a mild vibration intervention where people stand on a mildly vibrating platform. And we want to know the effect that it has on the muscle properties. So some of the things that we described as far as the muscle, the size, quality, and architecture. So we want to look at those things, also look at muscle function. We're also interested in seeing what how the vibration affects balance and coordination. And then how do those things, the vibration and maybe hopefully some of the changes that you make in balance and muscle, and how does that affect physical activity? So children wear activity monitors and we track their changes over the course of the study. And we're looking at, we're enrolling children who are 5 to 11 who have ability to ambulate independently. And it's a 6-month intervention, and then there's a 6-month follow-up. And there's a lot of testing. We do many different things. So there's a very scientific component to it, but we also hope that there's a fun component where the children and the families interact with the students and the staff who are on the front lines and actually collecting the data and making the study work. I think they really enjoy that.
So when you're thinking about vibration, because obviously, people might have thought, hang on a second, that's not really something that I would have included in, an exercise routine. I'm sure people have potentially seen the vibration plates. Is sort of a hypothesis or thinking behind it that it's increasing load, or what is the thinking behind why vibration might be beneficial?
Yeah, I think it depends on the type of vibration. So the vibration that we use is a very low level. So we think it may be creating some local changes. So activation, potentially activating the muscles, so making the muscles work a little bit or stimulating them to contract. And we're thinking that maybe that will increase the size, also the quality of the muscles. So if there's activity, the muscle's active, then it's using fuel that's in that area. So fuel would be fat. So if it's using fat to contract, then that would be good because it's improve the quality of the muscle and long-term potentially reduce your risk for developing chronic diseases. But that's there's a local effect, and then we think there may be a central effect where it's potentially affecting the central nervous system and improving balance and coordination. And there are some studies suggesting that it does, and not just with cerebral palsy, with other conditions. So we're optimistic.
Yeah.
And then there are different, like I said, there are different types of vibration. Some are really more vigorous, and they probably have a much more greater stimulation of the muscle. Unfortunately, there are studies coming out, but there need to be studies where you have good controls. So you may have a study and it doesn't have a control group. So I don't know if it's the vibration or if it's something else, and usually the vibration is coupled with something else. It's not just vibration. It may be some sort of therapy. So is it the therapy, or is it the vibration, or is it a combination? So a lot of the studies that have come out haven't been able to tease those things apart.
I think that's the tricky thing when we're thinking about cerebral palsy and research in cerebral palsy, right? The quality of research really needs to be there for us to be able to find these sort of definite answers, I suppose. So question for you. So you said 5 to 11-year-olds, it's over a 6-month time period. Is this an intervention that they're then doing at home, or are they having to come in to, UGA to do this? What does it look like in that regards?
Yeah, so they come to UGA, or we screen them ahead of time. We talk to them, talk to the families, the parents, and the child. And then if they qualify and they seem to be good candidates, then they'll come in and we'll do, they'll sign a consent form, and we do all of our baseline testing, which is a lot. It's a lot of testing, but we're trying to find out as much as we possibly can. And then the families will take the vibration platform home, and the child stands on it every day for 10 minutes. And they do that for 6 months. And they'll come back for testing at 1 month to see if there are any short-term changes. And then they come back at 6 months to see, after the full intervention, if there are changes. And then we look a month after that to see if there are positive changes. Are they sustained in a 1 month period? And then we look again at 6 months and see if, they're longer term sustaining of the changes that we hope to see.
So for those watching, do you have to be sort of local to your area, so local around Georgia to do this, or can you, be from other areas to participate?
Well, it would be great if you were local. It would be easier. Initially, it was a lot easier for us, but we've done a lot to make it so anybody could participate in the study. So we have a hotel that the families can stay in. So usually at each time point, you'll be here for 2 days. So you may come on a Friday, fly in on a Friday, stay at the hotel, and then in the morning we'll start our testing, and then you stay in the hotel again, and then come back for testing in the morning, and then fly out. Some will do some testing if they come early enough, some testing on Friday, just to kind of make the days a little shorter. And we actually just got approval from the NIH, or we're in the works of that, where we may be able to, we weren't able to pay for flights, but I think we're going to be able to contribute or pay for flights up to a certain amount. And we already give a travel stipend. So there is money to help with the families.
Well, I do think for anyone listening, if your child is between 5 and 11 and, they are ambulatory and can move around and do those different things independently. Is that right, Chris?
Yes. So, because some of the tests that we do require the child to walk, and we want to look at their gait, and so they'll need to be able to walk independently.
So I think, if you do have a child that meets that category, I think this is a wonderful opportunity because, as you said, obviously supported to actually participate in any of the assessments, but the fact the vibration plate actually goes home with you, and, for the majority of the 6 months, it's actually getting done at home, and it's, it is 10 minutes a day, but really in the big scheme of things, that's actually, quite a minimal time. And I think one of the biggest things you're finding is that kids are actually finding that it's fun and they're finding that it's enjoyable.
Yeah, we're trying to make it where it's an experience. Mm-hmm. So an experience, we have a local mascot or a mascot for the university, Hairy Dog. So we've scheduled some appointments where he comes and he'll meet with the children, and we would like every child to meet him because it's fun to do that sort of thing. And then we also have a scavenger hunt, so families come, and then we give them a little, description of the university, places they can visit. And so they have to go out and find them. And it's a good way to find out about the university. And, our football team did win the national championship this past year. So it's good that they can see those sorts of things.